Following conversation is with Nathan Haley, an almost 20-year veteran of the real estate industry. Nathan has been through the ups, through the downs, through the highs, and through the lows. His passions are teaching and doing deals. Please enjoy the following conversation with Nathan Haley. And make sure you follow him on Facebook. Nathan Haley, thank you for joining me, sir.
Oh, we're live?
We are live.
All right.
We are rolling. Can you tell me about Nathan 20 years ago? What was he like?
Yeah. 20 years ago, that will put me at 22. So when I started in real estate, 22, that year actually. And so I ordered this course off of Tim Mai, his course out. It was like $1,600, and I was like, I don't have $1,600. He's like, we take payments. I was like, sign me up. So, and then I was just ignorant. I didn't know. I just did exactly what he told me to do, and I got it in my first month. So that was the start of my real estate journey, at least.
What belief 20 years ago has changed the most versus today?
Huh. What belief has changed the most compared to today? That's a good one. I mean, 20 years ago, I feel like I was still a little bit of a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was mature in a lot of ways, but I was not in others.
Mm-hmm.
And so just kind of common stuff like the belief that I could just party forever is one belief that I don't believe today.
Mm-hmm.
But I know where you're going with that. Somewhere deep thoughts on yourself, really. Yeah. So, honestly, the belief before that I could just show up and it'll always be there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, obviously I have talent in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching, I've been teaching forever. And I got great responses from it, and I got great deals off of it, made millions of dollars off of it.
We'll get further into that.
Yeah. But the belief today is I can't just show up randomly whenever I want. I have to be consistent with that every month or, consistently doing that.
Do you think that money and success amplifies a person, or do you think it changes that person?
I think it just amplifies.
Did it do that for you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and I don't like to talk about, I talk about myself, but I don't really like to talk about myself. I like other people to talk about what they think who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And, what they typically say is just, I'm just helpful. I'm a giving person. I want to help others. And I just feel like that is something in the universe where if you put it out there and you help enough people, it comes back to you without expecting anything. It comes back for sure.
What almost made you quit? Can you take us back to that moment?
Yeah. Well, that's happened a few times, especially when I first started. So I started wholesaling, and I was like, oh, I got this great deal, put it under contract, got it to title. Guess what title costs? Oh, there's title issues, right? Not just on this one, but this other one and this other one. And I'm like, man, I got to go get a job. And I did. I got a job. I went to this, it was a tax franchise, Colbert Ball tax franchise. And you had to have a degree to work there. I don't have a degree. And I got the job anyway. And I was their number one guy.
Nice.
But even saying all of that, I'm looking at my checks here. And on my lunch break or bathroom break, I'm doing a wholesale deal, and I'm making way more than that check. And so I just, that helped me to confirm and realize if I put as much effort as I do working a job in myself, then I'm going to have way more.
Do you think it's a problem for most people not with an entrepreneurial mindset of being addicted to seeing that check coming in and that check coming, that consistent?
For sure. I mean, there are people who love stability,
Mm.
right? I mean, who doesn't love some stability, right? Especially women, right? But though without risk, it's no reward, right? So yeah, you could choose the easy life, work a 9 to 5. Then you finally hit your 6 figures and you're like, oh, I'm on top of the world, and you can live that life. Uh, I was just not born that way.
Mhm.
I've had jobs. I've gotten fired multiple times. I'm not a good employee. I had to figure something else out.
Over the years, what has been the acquisition strategy that has gotten you the most deals?
That one's easy. So helping others, teaching. So I taught for 6 years, once a month before COVID. I didn't miss a month at Keller Williams Clear Lake to the realtors on investing. I've also taught lots of different places. I think a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Andrew Franklin put on an event. He sent out an email. He had like 300-400 people there. So yeah, just teaching, helping people understand, along with coaching. I was doing a little one-on-one before, but that I had everybody coming. So then I did it in a group setting. I had about 12 people on my team, and they were making the biggest checks they've ever seen in their lives, and that was 30% of the deal. So
Nice.
yeah.
What metric in your business matters more than revenue?
What metric in my business matters more than revenue? To me, it's gonna be my word, right? Yeah. Did I do what I say I'm gonna do? I have in the past done what I said I was gonna do, even though I lost money on that, even though I didn't make as much or I lost money.
And that's something you stick to, no matter what.
Yeah, I just feel that's what a man should do. Stick to his word. It's way more powerful.
How does a wholesaler or a realtor graduate, some would say, or advance to the next level of the industry, whether it be buy and hold, flipping, development, doing these longer, bigger deals with bigger checks?
Yeah. Well, first, I think you need to identify what is the next step for that person, right? There's so many ways, as you know, to make money in real estate, right? And so many ways to go. And I think, going back to, it's like my second dad, he taught this 5-year planning class. And his goal with that, and he did it in 4.5 years, was you only have to work 5 years or less and you could be done forever. And if you do it right in real estate investing. So what vehicle can you use to get there? That's up to you. Yeah.
You have a group, the Wolf Pack with EXP, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell me?
I'm in the group.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, sure. I was gonna do a video. I'm gonna do one on my personal page too. I've been kind of stalling, but I've been with Keller Williams. I told my the guy that works there, Rick, I said, man, I've been here like 8 years. He's like, man, you were here before me. It's been like 13 years. It's like, dang. So, and overall, I believe the EXP revenue model is better than the Keller Williams model. As far as just that, there's a lot more to it. But, and so, I was thinking about going over there, but, I just keep getting realtors that bring me deals. Hey, Nathan, do you want $40,000? Here you go. Here's $50,000. Like, it's hard to compare that, And, but then I realized, you know what? I need a change, first of all. And those people who are bringing me those deals, they will continue to bring me those deals. I was just using Keller Williams as a brand to use to get those. Yeah.
Why do you teach so much?
Just going back to what I was talking about, I love helping others. Yeah. That gets me going, especially if they have a lot of drive and energy. I had one student, he paid me $7,000 for an 8-week course, and he had a full-time job and a family. And he had, driving for dollars, driving around writing down vacant homes. He had 2,200 in a very short period of time. This guy was hustling. And we bought multiple houses from him, and this is all he does with his life now. He wanted to quit his job, and he did. Right? So for me, that gets me going. Like, oh yeah, I'll help that guy, and in return, it helps me too.
Mm-hmm. If you could teach 22-year-old Nathan something, what would be the first thing you teach him?
Don't cash out refi. Don't cash out on your rentals. That's a big one. Don't cash out on your rentals. Other people will disagree with that, but that's just my personal opinion. Don't cash out on your rentals. I know actually my business partner, he didn't cash out on his rentals. He's got like just off of his rentals, I think like 16 grand a month coming in. You know, just the rentals. And so yeah, don't cash out on your rentals. And also just stay consistent. Just stay consistent. Stay consistent. Consistency is what gets you the breakout. You know,
People don't get lucky. They
Yeah.
just stay consistent long enough to get lucky.
yeah, exactly.
What would you say a realtor's biggest roadblock is when they want to start investing?
Their mind,
Their mind.
their themselves, 100%. I see a lot of realtors getting in this business now because they think real estate is cheap. But you got to ask yourself, why is it so cheap? Right? Why is it so cheap compared to years before? Right? So, just because it's cheap doesn't make it a deal. Right? You got a lot of other factors in that. Right? So, I've taught lots of realtors who typically realtors get in the business because they want to invest eventually. And so I try to help them with that. I try to help them with the knowledge. And then, it's up to them to make it happen.
When you say it's cheap, what exactly do you mean by that? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. Real estate cheaper compared to the last 5 years. The last couple of years have been less.
Right.
Right. Now, cheap, again, is all relative, right? When I started, I was picking up houses for 20 grand all day long. Right. So, but just compared to the last 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you recall your most lucrative but biggest headache deal?
But biggest headache? Usually the most lucrative are not the biggest headaches. Usually the biggest headaches are the ones you don't make a whole lot of money on. But I did have a good deal right here, Rice Military area. I had a student. He was knocking on doors. Talked to this guy. And the guy was like, yeah, I just want to pay for it. So it was a 5-unit. He lived in one. This is a long story. But he wanted $220 for it. He called me right away. He's like, hey man, this is a deal. It's in Rice, I was like, yeah, I think it is. Went over there, contracted it. He had a bunch of taxes and a bunch of liens, but excuse me. But the amount we were giving him covered all that. He walked away with some money. And we made, so technically it wasn't a wholesale deal because I contracted it. I called my second dad and I said, hey, this is a great deal. My contract's coming up. He's like, do you have some buyers? I was like, I believe so. They're going over there. He's like, all right. So he lent me the money to buy it. And I didn't borrow the money for repairs or anything because it was supposed to be just a short, buy it and sell it. So I closed on it. And now I own this, what was it at the time? Like $500,000, $600,000 property with $17,000 a year in taxes. I'm just sitting on, right? So I'm calling my regular people that I think would buy it, and they're like, oh, it's just not on my wheelhouse, or it's different. I was like, all right. So and somebody was like, why don't you just list it? I was like, well, because when you list on HAR, at least in my experience, and I still think to this day, when you list on HAR, it means it's not a deal. Investors, right? If it's on HAR, it's, can you find deals on HAR? Sure. Are you going to be searching a long time to find one? Yes. Right. But I listed it and I had a 1031 exchange buyer come and buy it. So he paid top dollar and we made $130,000 without touching it. So it was a good one. It's a good one.
Do you recall a moment in your long career that caused your biggest heartache?
For business,
Yes.
uh, my biggest heartache in basically like the worst deal, right? Uh, Good question. As you could tell, I was not prepared for these questions. This is all random. So, biggest headache. I'm gonna say I can't think of a specific. We have lost money on deals before.
Mhm.
Those always suck.
Mhm.
You know, I can't think of a very specific thing right now. But
Maybe a moment or a time period that things weren't going your way and it caused you to struggle maybe outside of the business.
oh well, yeah, so when I got caught up, this was early on, but with title issues, and I had to go get a job, and then I go work with my second dad on construction, and he worked my butt, and then that gives me more reminders and more like, oh, okay, like let me get back out there and put out these bandit signs. That's what I was doing at the time. So
A lot of people would say 2008 was a wild year for real estate. You were in the industry in 2008, correct?
mm-hmm.
What did that year teach you?
Well, I started 2007. It taught me that the economy is the main ruler over everything. That I mean, I started at the bottom, basically, with the economy, and yeah, I mean, literally, my second I was picking up apartments for half off of what the loan was with the bank. So and yeah, I don't know. God put me in the right time. I was not in it before that because if I was, I probably would have had rentals, would have lost equity, would have.
Mhm.
But I started at the bottom, and that was a great place to start.
Mhm.
So yeah.
You mentioned thinking about quitting earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Can you bring me to that exact moment? Where were you? What was happening financially?
Yeah. 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 I had a bunch of deals at title that were not getting resolved. So I had to make some money to live. And so I went to get a job. And I don't know. I just always, what's the right word? I always knew I wasn't going to be there that long.
Mm-hmm.
It was a temporary thing.
What do young investors waste time on?
Hmm. I wouldn't categorize it as young. I would say the certain personalities. Certain personalities will what do they call it? Overanalyze,
Mm-hmm.
not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Analysis paralysis is what it's called. And thinking of their company name, they're thinking of this, thinking of that, when they're not doing the most important thing, marketing for deals. Along with people, and it's a very what's the word? When people say, "Oh, I don't have any money," I get that part, the mindset of it, right? Though if they really wanted to do it, if they just did a little digging, they could find out they don't need any money to do real estate investing.
Mm-hmm.
They would learn that quickly. Yeah.
That actually leads to my next question. We're going to do a deep dive on personality types.
Yes.
I've heard you speak publicly now multiple times and reference your personality type.
Yeah.
Can you explain your philosophy on that?
My philosophy on personality types?
On your personality types and how it's important to determine one's own personality coupled with other people's.
Sure. Yeah, so I don't want to ruin your next question, but yeah, so I'm a social driver, which I'm rare personality for just being a person. And so so all of my private lenders and a lot of my close friends are technical personalities because that's my opposite. And we just vibe well together. And so I think that is big in a lot of ways, not just personally in relationships, intimate relationships, but also when you're talking to sellers, when you're talking to just your family and stuff. You got to identify. I always tell people there's only four personalities in the world. And so I identify within like 5 minutes of what someone's personality is. So then you know how they like to communicate. For example, I had a seller, one of my students brought a seller, and he was like, yeah, I want to sell this house in LaPorte. Cool. We went over there. We walk in, the dude has a NASA t-shirt on. The AC's working, but he doesn't have it on. He's sweating, right? He's working. And he's like, yeah, I thought about fixing this up, but if I can, if I can get this number out of it, then I'm interested in selling. And he handed us a paper. And he says, here's what I think houses are going for in the neighborhood. And it was pretty close, and he wasn't a realtor. He didn't have comps. He said, here's what I think it will cost to repair it. And I know you make a little something for doing it, so I'd sell at that number. That's what the seller told me. So you have to identify right away, this guy is technical, right? So we need to speak to him in a technical personality for him to do business with us, or else he won't do business with us. So we're like, all right, we actually weren't far off from the number. We're like 15, 20 grand. And we told him the number we needed to be at. Not only did we tell him the number we needed to be at, but we went to the title company and got him a net number after closing costs and a breakdown. And then we did a bullet point of, here's the process. We're going to sign a contract. We're going to get it to title. They're going to research title. You're going to come, you're going to sign, you're going to collect your check and move on. And he said, Nathan and Jake, you're not my highest offer, but you're the most professional. And I'm going to go with you all. Right? So you will even get deals for less than what other people have offered if you speak their language. Right? So that's just one example. Obviously, if they're social, you got to sit on the couch with them and talk for 2 hours. And I was telling my buddy the other day, I was like, and I live this. I went to a seller appointment, and I was like, and he's sitting on the couch and he's smoking, and guess what I'm doing? I'm smoking with him, right? Like a cigarette, like just talking with him, People like to mimic, right? And so yeah, just I love psychology. I've been studying that forever. That's actually probably for me, one of the most fun parts about this.
You mentioned technical and personal. What are the other two types?
Social, driver, technical, and compliant. So social, obviously that's self-explanatory. Driver, it's typical business owners. I'm going to plow through stuff. I'm going to get it done, but I might make a mess doing it, right? Need help for the employees or partners. Then you have technical, CPAs, bookkeepers, engineers. And then you have compliant. Those are people that make sure all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted. Those are great employees. Yeah.
Were you ever in a position in your career where you were over leveraged?
Over leveraged? I don't know. What is over leveraged?
Over leveraged meaning maybe you're in too deep. You bought too deep just because you liked the looks of a property.
No. Well, where I paid too much for a property? No, that's actually been good and bad for me. I'm super conservative on all my buys, like really conservative, which can hinder some growth in a quick period of time also, right? Because if you're like, oh, I'm only doing smoking hot deals, how many of those are you going to get, right? But no, we have lost money on deals, but because it took longer or construction went over or something, but it wasn't because I paid too much for it. No, that's like golden rule number one. You got to buy at a discount. And everybody knows the formula, So yeah, can you go to 75%? Sure. If it's in League City, Kemah, super hot areas. But other than that, no. And the backup to that is, oh, okay, it didn't sell. Great. I'm in at 70%. Guess what the bank loans? 75%. So when you go to refi, cash out, you get a little money on the back end.
If everything was wiped out by tomorrow, your portfolio, your reputation, your capital, and you had 6 months to survive, what would that 6 months look like?
I'd start with wholesaling. I'd start with probably telling everybody along with bandit signs, with flyers, just self-promoting myself.
Mm.
Self-promoting big. And this is like all they hear, like the first thing they hear from me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and honestly, that's what I started. That's what I did from the beginning. And so I do it again. Yeah, just preach. So I was doing Facebook Lives and social media before it was cool. Right? I mean, I used to do Facebook Lives all the time just because that was my promotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did 15 years ago.
I forgot to mention, Nathan is a paid Facebook ambassador. Go follow him on Facebook right now.
That's my other job.
What deal source has the highest ROI long term?
What deal source has this highest ROI long term? I would say, based on the numbers, owner financing.
Owner financing.
Yeah, owner financing out your property.
Buying an owner finance or owner financing your own property?
Owner financing out to a buyer your own property. Yeah. And holding the note, not selling the note.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously commercial has a big. They're just bigger numbers. You're buying at the same ratios. They're just bigger numbers.
Right.
So,
what's the biggest ROI skill an investor can acquire or build?
A skill that you would say they're not born with, that they had to learn?
Correct.
Okay. The biggest skill to learn is, to me, again, it's just my personality, to network, to talk to, when I say network, genuinely talk to people and build relationships and care about their life and help them. Help as many people as you can. And it believe me, it comes back. It comes back. Yeah.
Tell me about the importance of discipline to you, and what has that looked like in health and fitness and business?
Yeah. So I've had lots of lessons on that. Maybe we all have, but I've learned when I'm not disciplined how that looks, and when I am, I can be extremely disciplined. So just one example, years ago, it was like 10 years ago now, maybe, I was with someone, and they were from Trinidad. And so we would go visit there, and she knew some people. And so we were going to be in the biggest party in the world, Carnival. We were going to be in it. And I saw the costume and stuff, and it's just like some shorts and some other stuff on you. And I was like, oh, I better trim up, right? Mm-hmm. So I went to my buddy's nutritionist, who he's top guy, Keith Klein. Great guy. He's retired now, but he trained boxers, Olympic athletes. Great guy. And went in there. I was, I've worked out since middle school, but my food journey has been up and down. And so I went in there, and he's like, yeah, I want you to eat 5 times a day. Here's what I want you to eat. Yeah, 5 times a day. Wow. Yeah. And I was like, oh, don't you want to give me like a workout plan? He was like, nope. He's like, I want to show you with the food I gave you how you're going to lose fat and gain muscle from just the food. It's like, okay. So within 2.5 months, I went from 22% body fat to 11% body fat. Wow. He says that's the fastest you can go. I was eating 5 times a day. I was eating at 9, 12, 3, 6, 9. Yeah. And so, but it was awesome. I was ripped. Like it was awesome. It was awesome. But that's the power of being disciplined. Mm-hmm. If you really want something, and I went to Carnival and had a great time. And then, and I stayed on it. I actually stayed on that eating platform for like 2.5 years. And, yeah.
Man, small portions, big portions?
So 9 o'clock is usually a breakfast burrito. It's like 300 calories. Then you're gonna eat at 12 full meal. So these are meals I bought from them just because I was single at the time, or I was with my woman, but I was really after I had been on it for 2.5 years, I had split up with her. But anyway, I buy these meals just because they were already exactly what I need: 500 calories, which is the goal, and low fat. But they would be like chicken enchiladas, steak and potatoes, like all this good stuff. Yeah. It's just about the ingredients they put into the portions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So then that's your 12 o'clock. Then 3 o'clock is either a muscle milk or a burrito. And then 6 o'clock is a full meal. And then 9 can be either a full meal or breakfast, or like a breakfast burrito or muscle milk. Yeah.
I have some rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
How do you like your steak?
Medium. Medium. I say medium plus.
Cash flow or big checks?
Cash flow.
Favorite place you have ever traveled to?
Thailand.
One trait you attribute your success to?
God. Trait? I don't know if it's a trait.
Your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration? I mean, my second dad has been a big inspiration for me for a long time. He is, I don't want to say his name right now, but he is the most successful person I know in real estate, and we started together in real estate about 20 years ago. And I didn't know at the time, but he was about to get his car repoed and kicked out of his rental house. And he is the most successful real estate investor that I know. Not only that, but he takes his family out every year, his whole family, bunch of kids and stuff, 20 something of them. He pays for everything every year. He has a great relationship with God. And so just all around, just like, man, is this guy real? You know?
How did he get the name My Second Dad?
That's a good question. So, yeah, so my parents divorced when I was 10. We moved over here, and my uncle and really him helped me as far as like a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You obviously know and work and interact with so many people.
Mm-hmm.
How important is loyalty to you? And follow-up question, have you ever been hurt by somebody close to you in the business?
Yeah, definitely been hurt. Was that a miscommunication or whatever? I don't know, but definitely been hurt. And how important is loyalty to me? I used to think it was super important, super important. And loyalty is a good trait for sure. Though at the end of the day, everyone needs to look out for themselves. And if they have not, even though we're helping other people, but we can't help other people if we haven't helped ourselves. How can we give if we don't have? Right? And so we have to make sure that we're stable emotionally, mentally, and hopefully financially. But those first two are the most important. Spiritually, right? In order to be talking about the right things in front of other people. Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge you face in your day-to-day life today versus when you first began?
The market right now, the market was at the bottom when I started. So where does it go from there? Just up, right? It's been going up for literally, I think it's been going up for 18 years straight. Barely hiccups along the way, but now it has changed. Yes, it's back on the upturn, but I I really look into, I'm not going to go into this too much, but I really look into things sometimes too much. And I believe I know exactly what's going to happen next in the world.
Maybe a 2008 repetition? Would you say it's to that extreme?
So all right. So again, my second dad asked me a couple of years ago when the rate started going up, he started telling me what he thought was going to happen. And then he asked me because he knows how much I look into things. And I said, and he's like, and I said, honestly, Tom, I think it's all going to go to shit. Right? And he was like, you're the most optimistic, positive person I know. I was like, I know, but I'm also a realist. And so I don't want to go too deep into this being recorded and everything. But what I can say is I think it's going to crash, but it's going to turn around very quickly because there's already infrastructure in place for the new thing.
I have one final question for you. If you were never able to teach or speak in public again, in 2 to 3 sentences, what would be your final lesson?
Dang. Good question. That would be to focus on God in your mental health and be disciplined to do your thing every day and to always self-improve and always learn until you die.
Nathan Haley.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time today.
Sure. Good one.